By the late stages of his career, every opposing manager shared a singular primary objective: entire defensive schemes, exhaustive training drills, and endless film sessions were dedicated solely to stopping Lionel Messi. The strategy was intensely physical. Defenders crowded him the moment he touched the ball, boxing him in and choking off any open grass to force a turnover. Despite knowing exactly what he wanted to do, defenders and coaching staffs consistently failed to disrupt his rhythm. The dynamic shifted when manager Lionel Scaloni arrived. He recognized that isolating his star wouldn't work, so he constructed a specific tactical framework designed to provide support from behind. This structural foundation, combined with a fierce loyalty to Argentina, resulted in the most dominant, tactically ruthless version of Lionel Messi's career. He often strolls around the pitch, seemingly disconnected from the play. He uses this slow pace to lure the defense into a state of complacency. This diagram highlights his visual trigger. The instant he locks eyes with a teammate holding the ball, he initiates an explosive run. Because the defense has mentally switched off to ignore the walking man, this sudden burst of speed catches them completely flat-footed. Messi uses this period of inactivity as an active scanning phase, identifying defensive gaps before lulling the opponent into the moment they switch off. Once the ball is at his feet, his playmaking takes over. He processes the spatial layout of the pitch differently than anyone else on the field. Take the setup for Noel Molina against the Netherlands. Breaking a scoreless deadlock requires finding a gap where none appears to exist. This diagram tracks the geometry of that exact pass, threading the ball right up the gut, slicing through overlapping defensive layers. Notice the microscopic margin of error. Executing this requires immaculate poise, sneaking a pass through a window open for just a fraction of a second. He consistently takes these chaotic, impenetrable defensive blocks and reduces them to solvable equations. But vision alone doesn't explain what happens in close quarters. Imagine being boxed in tight against the touchline, heavily guarded by a younger, faster opponent. That was the exact physical disadvantage he faced against Croatia's Joško Gvardiol. This biomechanical breakdown illustrates his escape. He uses a lovely drop of the shoulders, feinting his weight in one direction to manipulate the defender's momentum. As the defender's shape is compromised, that split-second shift generates exact half a yard of space. In that tiny physical window, the technical execution has to be flawless, keeping the ball practically glued to his boots at top speed. He overcomes youth and athleticism using balance, timing, and the microscopic manipulation of physical space. These specific technical mechanics weren't just highlight reel outliers, they were his standard for an entire tournament. By applying this precision in every knockout round, he scored in 7 successive World Cup finals games. This sustained performance allowed him to reach 1,000 career games while remaining the World Cup's all-time leading scorer. This ultimate run finally matched the historical weight of Diego Maradona, 40 years to the day after the Hand of God goal. His ability to create space elevated teammates like Julian Alvarez, turning individual genius into a team victory that secured the 2022 World Cup. Decades of national pressure transformed into unbridled celebration across the streets of Argentina. By manipulating physical positioning and the timing of the defense, he proved his longevity was a matter of calculated control. In 2022, the ultimate prize in sports was rightfully passed into the hands of genius.